This is not my A1200. Well, it's my machine, but it's not an A1200. So it has a disk drive, it's clicking, it has a mouse, it has the look and feel of an A1200. But if you look closely, you can see that there's something different. There's an HDMI out. Let's take a closer look and check out what this 1200 has inside. So if you take a look at the 1200, it has a power light, flashing disk light. If you look at the screen, you can see it's booted into Amiga OS and it has WHD load. And if I want to start Bionic Commando, and there it is. So Bionic Commando worked. So now I'm gonna put in disk here. So there's my clock, and here's my notepad. That's all loading nice and easy from disk, what you would expect. So what is so very special about this A1200? Let's open it up and take a look inside. So let me quickly power down the machine because I don't want to open it while it's still running. As you can see, it's not just a matter of switching it off. So now it's off. Let's see. I already removed the screws. So the special thing about this A1200 is that this A1200 is not an A1200. And it does not even have a single part that once was an A1200. Let me explain. So this is a brand new case from A1200.net, where you can also get these LEDs. And that batch I got from eBay, I guess. So if we open this up, you can see there's an Amiga keyboard. And that's a true, real Amiga keyboard. And you might see that there's a part missing here. And apart from the missing part, it looks like an A1200 keyboard. That is because I converted an A500 keyboard into an A1200 keyboard. And why did I cut out this part? Because of these LEDs, which are in the way if you put this on here. So you just remove the controller board because you don't need it. The controller board is already on the A1200 itself. And you change the keyboard matrix thingy, this green stuff that is inside the keyboard. And you can have an Amiga keyboard for 30 bucks. You can have this matrix for 30 bucks. So you have for 60 bucks a complete A1200 keyboard, which is exactly the same as a real A1200 keyboard. Just that it is a converted A500 Mitsumi keyboard, and it only works with the Mitsumi keyboards. So that is the keyboard out of the way. Okay, so here's the A1200 case with my pre-modded A500 keyboard. And let me show you this. So as you can see, the keyboard PCB is removed. That little block of logic that connects the A500 keyboard with the A500, because the A500 doesn't have any keyboard logic on the main board, other than the 1200 and the 600, which have all the logic for the keys on the main board. So you can remove this, and I had to saw off the little metal bracket which was here, and you can still see the A500 membrane is still in here, and it works. It's a good membrane in working condition. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this membrane and put it in here, because this should fit perfectly. As you can see, if you check the contacts on the keys, these should match perfectly. So we will see if that is indeed the case. So first order of business is to take this keyboard, get rid of all the screws, take that off, pull the membrane, put the new membrane in, and see what happens. I just noticed that this is a little bit bent, so I'll bend this back. Okay, looks better. Okay, good to go. And for that I will use my automatic screwdriver, which is a really great tool for this, because I don't have to screw all the screws by hand. I just noticed that the batteries are pretty low. Yeah, and that is that. It's like it always is. If you need one of these screwdrivers, these automatic screwdrivers, they are of course empty when you use them. So back to manual labor and using a normal screwdriver. Okay, time for the big reveal. Yes, it's an Amiga keyboard. Nice. Okay, so now we are going to take this off and put this in. It's a bit crusty on some parts, but all in all it's very clean. That goes in like that, and it fits perfectly, as you can see. And this is, by the way, a 1200 membrane, so only problem is that if I put this back in here, that cable will be smashed. So I will have to take some measurements and remove this piece of plastic here. So there's my measurement. And now I have to go. By the way, the keys all stay in place, because with this key cap type, the keys are all stuck to this little stamp. And if you ever wondered how one of these keyboards work, well, like that. So what I will do now is I will cut out this piece of plastic here, so that the membrane connector can go through here, and I can safely put that back on here. I could, of course, just bend that out. Oh, that would be an idea, just to bend it out, but yeah, that won't fit into a classic 1200 case then, so maybe I will not do that. So let's cut some plastic. So here's my marking. Let's try these pinches here. Afraid that the keyboard will take a hit here, but all seems to be good for now, at least. Looks still straight, which is good. So now I have to find a way to cut into this here, just a little. And then bend this up a bit. That'll do. It's not the nicest job, and if you have a Dremel you can use that. But it also works like this. What I will do is I will do put some electrical tape here over the edge. Okay, I think that should work. Let's see. Let's put in the new membrane like this, which fits perfectly. And should just be bent out of here. Yeah, and that is exactly how it works. Nice. Great. So let's put in the 250.7 million screws and test if the keyboard actually works. Good. Now we have our 1200 keyboard. Very cool. So let's hook it up to a Kira and see if it works. Okay, so here's my bench PC with which I do all the retro stuff. It's a Windows machine. And let's plug the Kira in. And I did connect the keyboard down here to the Kira V2. And now let's open, let's say, a DOS shell, and let's type on the Amiga keyboard, and as you can see, this works just fine. And there's another neat trick, that is if I start WinUAE, it takes a second, and I start the machine. And now I hit Control Amiga. I can even reset the emulated Amiga, which is great. You can see that I actually have a disk drive in here, and you saw that the disk drive actually works. That's the next part. So if we put this over here, you can see there's some stuff inside of here. First, the disk drive. Then to control the disk drive, we have a Greaseweazle. And the whole heart of the machine is this Raspberry Pi 4, which is running Amiga 3 by Chris Edwards, which he just released. And with Amiga 3, there comes support for the Greaseweazle out of the box. So you just connect it, you put it in your emulator. In Amiberry, you just say that DF0 is a Greaseweazle adapter. And off you go. You have a full working Amiga disk drive, and you can use standard Amiga disks, just like my Workbench disk here. This is no ADF, this is a real Amiga disk. I also have a Kira connected, and these can be had for, depending on when you buy it, 30 euros. And that connects via this USB hub to the Pi. Together with the Greaseweazle, they all connect via USB. And I have an HDMI out here, and I have USB-C out here, and 2 USB ports. So that is pretty much the setup. And with that, I have a completely, fully emulated A1200 with a working disk drive, with a working Amiga keyboard. And if you wouldn't know, you just couldn't know, because it just works, and it's just the fastest Amiga 1200 out there, thanks to the work of Chris Edwards, who did Amiga 3. Yeah, and that is my A1200 setup. And because A1200s are really expensive right now, I thought I'd go and build one myself. And is it cheaper? Yeah, maybe. If you don't get a new keyboard, a new case, but a used one, maybe for 50 bucks. Keyboard 60 bucks is 110. The Greaseweazle for 30 is 140. The disk drive is a tenner, which is 150. The Raspberry Pi might be a little more expensive right now, so say you have to pay up to 80 for that, which makes it 230, plus the Kira, which is between 30 and 40, which brings you up to somewhere in the region of 320, but that is right now mostly still less expensive than a real A1200, and you can emulate pretty much any machine you like with this. You can use a USB mouse. This is my A500 mini USB mouse. Let me show you around here. Let me just pull all the cables. So there's not much to see. There's the disk drive, and in the back I have the USB-C, the HDMI, 2 USB ports, 2 joystick ports which belong to the Kira. I just put that here. This is not pretty, but it works right now. Yeah, and that is pretty much it. So there's not much to see here. It's just an A1200 which boots into an A1200, and you can connect via FTP or SSH to this machine. You can put files on here. You can use a real disk drive. You can use a USB stick to transfer files. You have all the WHD load files on the machine in Amiga 3. So that is pretty neat. And it just works like an A1200. So yeah, pretty happy with this. If you have any questions on how to convert this keyboard or how to get the disk drive working, anything, just let me know in the comments. And since this might be the last episode before Christmas, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year 2023 to you all. And thanks for watching and supporting the channel, whichever way you do. Thanks so much, and bye-bye for now.
Thank you for watching Retro is the New Black. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you like the video, please share. Every like, share, and comment helps a lot. Until next time, bye-bye.